This battle ends now, or I shall write its conclusion.
You will never be welcome in the ranks of the Decepticons again!
Sometimes it's better to be known for one's enemies.
And with a single line, Blitzwing became one of my favorite Transformer characters. So, hello Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Leader Class Blitzwing. Not to be confused with the Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Blitzwing, which I think is the same toy, but that one's the new edition that's on the shelves now, whereas this one came out a little bit ago, and I'm just now getting around to reviewing him. So, taking a look at the box, you can see it's a very large box, and you can see Blitzwing here, you can see Blitzwing there, you can see Transformers Legacy, Hasbro 8+ Leader Class, Transformers again, Transformers Generation symbol, Takara Tomy. On the top of the box, you have Transformers Legacy. On the left side of the box, you have Blitzwing in his plane mode, Blitzwing in his tank mode. On the other side of the box, you have a group of awesome Decepticons that appear in this line. You have the authentic Transformers symbol here, and you have the Transformers Legacy symbol. On the bottom of the box, you have some credits for the box and a barcode. And finally, coming around to the back of the box, ooh, if we can see it, scroll up, you have some awesome product shots of Blitzwing in his robot mode, Blitzwing in his plane mode, Blitzwing in his tank mode, and a whole bunch of accessories that go onto him. You have some more credits for the box, and that is going to be the packaging. But no one wants to see an awesome Transformer in the box because you can't really see him. So let's get him out and see what Blitzwing can actually do. And here we have Blitzwing out of the box, and out of the box he comes in his tank mode. He also comes with a nice set of instructions, 2 hand missile looking things, and a couple other weapons that we'll get to in just a moment. But first off, let's take a look at Blitzwing himself. And here we have Blitzwing in his tank mode. Now, a long time ago, I decided that I would be reviewing the Transformers how they came out of the box, instead of transforming them to a robot mode so I could go from there, because I think this helps better. So, taking a look at the tank mode, it is really nice. It is a combination of this tan, khaki, and purple, and there is an off-putting cockpit of a plane right here, but that is actually accurate to the cartoon mold. If you watch the cartoons and even the movie, you can see that the cockpit was always sticking out the front of the tank, so it may be unsightly, but that's how it always was. So measuring out the tank from the top of the cockpit here to the back of the engines at 6 inches, but if you don't want to measure there and you just want to measure from the tank treads here to here, you got 5 inches, and I think it is a pretty good mode for Blitzwing's tank. Now, when you deal with triple changers, you're always going to have certain modes that they have to be sacrificed in order to get all 3 in. So I think this is actually one of the better modes. As for a functionality, it rolls really nicely, and you have some wheels right here at the bottom. This is where you can actually see the jet if you turn it around. Let's zoom out just a little bit, a little close. And the tank treads here are picked out in black plastic. Again, you got the tan here, a little bit of purple ports here for some weapon storage. Going to the front, you're going to see this cockpit again that we talked about. Not too great. You have the barrel of the tank, which is here. Some more tank treads on this side, basically the same. And on the back, you have the jet thrusters. Again, nothing too great. I do like the turret can move 360 degrees around. That is pretty fun. And then the barrel can go up and down, so that is good. Get a lot of playability there. And that's pretty much going to be the extent of his articulation and movement. Have an awesome Decepticon symbol here on the top of the tank, and a port for more weapons storage. Alright, and that's pretty much what his tank is going to look like and what it can do. Moving on. And for comparison with Blitzwing in his tank mode, here you have him with the Netflix Megatron. And obviously Megatron is going to be a little bigger than Blitzwing in his tank mode, and that should be how it is because Megatron is the leader after all, but that is still a neat little comparison. Just see how big they are standing them up like that. Yeah, Megatron is off the screen, so that is really neat. I like that. And then you have Astro Train in his train mode, and that is pretty neat. It's a little small, I think, but he makes up for his height with his length, I suppose, when it comes to the train and Astro Train. So that is pretty neat. Another interesting comparison, here you are with the Kingdom Warpath, and they're both two tanks. And how do they scale? Well, it looks like Blitzwing is just gonna run right over poor Warpath because he is not really a challenge, it would seem. But you know, Warpath is spunky. And finally, here you have him with Optimus Prime. And Optimus is a little taller than what Blitzwing is in tank mode, and that is pretty neat. So yeah, there you go. And I think this is some cool comparisons. All right, moving on. Now let's get Blitzwing into something more sociable by transforming him into his robot mode. Now, please understand, I don't always go by how the instructions tell you to do it, but by the end of the segment, we get to where we need to be. Alright, so starting off, what I like to do is open up the top here. We will have to get rid of this big tank barrel. Well, that's actually another thing, that when I get him into robot mode, there are going to be a few things that you can change to your liking. Alright, so first off, bring this barrel back and close up the compartment like such. And then we are going to bring the compartment up from the body like such and have it kind of at an angle, so that will be neat. Come to the bottom of the tank. You're going to pull the little wing section out like this, and then you're going to take these treads and then fold them back like such, and there is a tab here and a port there that they will go into, so that is nice. Do it on both sides like such, and that is good. Alright, so now what we can do is pull this entire section up like such, and if you look, you can see that there is a hinge part right here at the back, so that is going to hinge in to itself like such on both sides like such. That's good. All right, now this whole section can be brought up like that, and we're just going to leave this like this for just a moment, because when we turn it around, we are getting closer to the robot mode, and that's cool. Alright, so now we can go ahead and pop the head out. So grab this little yellow part and pull it down, and you can see the head in there. Hello, he's upside down. Twist this around like such, and then turn the head around. You want to do it that way, because if you don't, and then in tank mode, the head will be showing. So do that, put that back up, and then now you have kind of a little bitty guy here. So you can see kind of where we're going. So next you can work on the arms, turn it to the side. This little panel right here is going to come back, and then the whole thing will swerve around. All right, pull the arm out, or the hand out, excuse me, and then when we do that, this panel will come up covering the armhole. So yeah, that's pretty neat. I like that. Again, pull from the side, pull this down, it will come around from the bottom, and then on the side where the hand is, pull the hand out, and then cover up the panel with this. So that is really nice. So now we're getting some arms formed. All right, when you work with the legs, you can go ahead and split them like such, and you can kind of bring the thrusters out to the side, because you're going to open up the leg here and you want to kind of bring it down. And when you do, actually the easiest way, you could do it like that, or you could come around to the back and starting at this side, bring the wing section out. It will kind of unfold, and that will be easier way to get your leg out. And since we're back here, you will bring this purple panel down, and you can see that there is a tab right here that will port right into this one, almost right underneath it. So just pull that up like such and kind of work it in there. And then when that's done, you can fold the wing back around, and then around, and then back into where it was initially. So that's what that is for, because that will bring the legs out. Again, when you have the leg out like such, come around to the back, find this big purple square, see the tab there, and then the port there, connect the two, and then bring it up, and then wrap this wing back to where it came from before we even started all this. All right, and that will just fold in, and that's good. And now bring the feet back there, open up the thrusters on the bottom, which will create the feet and the heel. And you can take these little silver wings, if you're so inclined, and move them forward on both sides. That is the official transform. Now, almost done. We just got to come and work on this back part. Okay, so you are going to have this purple piece here is going to go over his head and clip onto his chest to kind of give him this fake chest part, like such. And then the wings of the tank, or the rest of the tank, is going to fold flat back onto his back like that. And that is going to be mostly what your Blitzwing is going to look like. Now, finally, you want to turn the tank tread, or the tank turret here, around, and then fold it in and back. And that is the official transform in robot mode. But, like I said when we started this, there are a few things that you can do if you don't like just the standard mode. What I like to do is, for the most part, I like this mode. I don't like these little silver rings, so I'm going to fold mine back on there and kind of get them out of the way. I think that looks nicer and a little cleaner, but it doesn't really have the more defined foot, but that's okay. And the last thing I like to do to kind of change and augment my figure is take the turret, how we had it, turn it back around to this way, open up the port for the barrel, and then pull that up and bring it around. Now that will give you the barrel coming off of Blitzwing's back like he always had. Now I wish it was a little smaller, or that it folded in, because it's just, I think, maybe a little too long, but for what it is, I think I'd much rather have it than not have it. So yeah, all right, so that is Blitzwing in his robot mode. Let me get him all straightened up and we'll take a closer look at him. And here we have Blitzwing in his robot mode, and he stands approximately 6 1/4 inches tall to his head. If you go to the top of his wing section, it's about 6 1/2, and I'm not really going to count the top of his barrel because that will get you into the 7 7 1/4 inches, and that's not really how tall he's supposed to be, because that is like a fan mode of mine. So taking a look at him, let's scroll in real tight on that head sculpt. That is a very awesome G1 Blitzwing head, and that is so cool. I love that they gave him his standard yellow helmet. You do get a little bit of red right here. Nice red visor, beautiful silver face. I really like that. Coming down to a nice purple chest. You got some silver on the sides, some yellow for vents, a nice Decepticon symbol, little red triangles, tan arms with some purple broken up with some black, and coming down to some purple forearms. I like that. Fists are purple. You have a little bit of silver breakup right here in the midsection. Let's zoom out. I think we got a little close now. Coming down to his pelvis flaps, they are broken up with some silver squares in design, nice silver legs, and some purple upper legs and feet. They did not skimp on the paint for this guy, and that is a bit surprising when it comes to, Hasbro, but I like it. I guess they had to justify the $50 leader class price tag somehow. And then coming to the side, got some nice details, a little Decepticon symbol here, but that's for transformation into the jet mode. You can see the tracks of the tank. On the back, you have nothing that you wouldn't expect. A lot of kibble from the tank, but that is cool. Some nice yellow here, again, for the wings of the plane. And the other side is the same. And I think he just looks very, very good. All right, moving on. And for our articulation, we've already seen how the turret on the back can turn left and right, and you can actually interchange the barrel for no barrel, so that's part of the articulation. The wings on the side can move back if you kind of want a folded back kind of wing. That's another option for you. Coming down to the head can go around 360 degrees. It can look up, it can look down just a little bit, and you do get a little wiggly waggly in it, so that is neat. Coming to the shoulders are kind of problematic. They don't really do much because they are built into this backpack. So there is this little flap that you can move up, and that will give you a little bit of mobility with the shoulders. So that's about it for them. Not exactly a straight 90, just slightly under. And you do have a bicep and forearm rotation, 360 degrees. And you do have a nice elbow bend, gets you about 90 degrees there, so that is cool. Coming down, you do have fist rotation, 360 degrees around, and it can fold in and out due to transformation. Coming to the middle of the body, you do have a waist articulation, 360 degrees around, such as that. No ab crunch or anything, but that's okay. Coming down to the legs, if you move up the hip skirts, you do get a lot of motion forward with the leg kick, and not as much back because the back part gets in the way and there is no hip skirt for that, but you do get a lot to the side, so that is cool. You do have 360 degree thigh rotation right here. That is good. Bring that back down. Then you have a knee bend, which could go as far as it can, but the back of the tank gets in the way, so that's about as much of that as you're going to get, but that's okay. Then coming down, there is no boot cut or anything, and then when you get to the foot, you do get a rocker, so it can rock to the inside. That is good. And when it comes to the foot, you do kind of get some tiltage based on transformation, so the foot can technically go down and back up, and then so can the heel. But again, that is all due for transformation. All right, and that is going to be Blitzwing's articulation. Moving on. And for your Decepticon comparison, here you have the Blitzwing with the Netflix Megatron, the Earthrise Starscream, the Earthrise Astrotrain, and the Netflix Soundwave. And this is a very cool cast of bad guys. Alright, moving on. And now, Books and Books fans, we come to the part of the video that I have been dreading ever since I've seen this thing. We're going to turn Blitzwing from a robot to a jet. The process isn't that bad. It's just the final product that is going to be lacking, I think. All right, let's get started. So, in order to do this, we are going to have to put him back in certain ways. We will have to redo the arms, so pull this down, twist it around, and pull this tab up to the top like this so that it sits right in there. You can go ahead and fold the fist in. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull this down, twist it around, bring it back up, slide it into place where it's now fitting into that spot, and fold the fist in. All right, so that's part of us done. Now we will go ahead and undo this chest plate. Bring that up so you can get all this backpack out of the way. You can flatten that out. And so now what we can do is work on the feet. Bring these toes together to form the jet engines like we saw earlier in the tank mode. And we will have to open up the legs again. So what we will do is take it from this side, just unfold the wing like such. Okay, I'll do that on both sides. Undo, undo, undo. All right. So now, with the legs open like this, we can fold them up on themselves like such. Okay, that is good. And we will bring this little part down, lift up the silver wing, and then fold it back over. Okay, bring the jet thruster out, bring the wing up, and then fold it back in. And then make sure both of your legs are together and squeeze them like that. Now, pull the arms out from the side. It is a little difficult, and they will go all the way down. Okay, like such on both sides. Okay. So you want to make sure that these parts are facing forward right here, and that your arm panel did not come out, because this needs to be together. Now, moving to this back part, go ahead and fold your barrel in, because that will make your life a lot easier. And now bring this whole section back, and you can find a tab on the bottom of the tank part right here to go into that port, and here to go into this port. Let's see, let me get that squished together. That's one side in, and that's the second. Okay. Now, we can finally work on the front. We can move these tabs up right here. And the last thing we need to do is bring out the nose cone. So bring down the chest part, flip around the head like such, close this back up, come to the bottom here, and you will probably need a little tool to open up this part and then pull the nose cone out like such, and then put that together like such. Snap the bottom, pull the landing gear out, and you gotta squeeze all this together and fold your wings in here. And I believe that is going to give us the jet mode, as it were. Sometimes we have to squish together the back, and yeah, this is it. Let me get it cleaned up, and we will take a look at it. And so I'm going to go on record and say, I told you so. When dealing with a triple changer, one mode suffers. And in this case, I think it's more than suffering. This has been tortured, dragged into a ditch, and shot. I am so sorry that I can't make this look any better than what it is. Now, from the top, I'll say that you have a pretty decent jet mode. So if you want to play with him and zoom him around like this, yes, that is really nice. You have a lot of beautiful dark purples, nice silver Decepticon symbols, broken up again with some silver here and some silver here, and some nice yellow that we saw on the chest, Decepticon symbol, red for the cockpit window, nice silver nose cone. I like that. I like the yellow highlights on the wings. I like the silver wings on the back, and the thrusters are okay, which we saw in tank mode. But once you get to the bottom of this thing, oh my gosh, this looks terrible. I guess you could argue that this is a good place to hold it, but and zoom it around. But for the most part, I hate this plane mode. I really do. I don't think this is going to be growing on me. Maybe if you could have parts formed it and maybe taken the tank top off, I don't know if that would have even helped this, but there you are. This is what your jet mode looks like. Alright, moving on. And for comparison, as it will be, here you have Blitzwing with Starscream, and really the only good comparison is from the top, and so that looks alright. Starscream's a little bigger than Blitzwing here, that's cool. Here you have him with Astrotrain, and Astrotrain, they're about the same size, I guess. Alright. Then throw in old Scourge, because we haven't used Scourge in a long time, and they would have known each other and seen each other at least the first 5 episodes of Season 3, the 5 Faces of Darkness episodes, so there you go. Alright, that's pretty neat, and for the heck of it, why not throw in Megatron? Here he is, and here Blitzwing is, so that's actually a pretty good comparison. He'll be up here, and then he'll be down there, and so yeah, alright. Moving on. And starting with Blitzwing's accessories, he comes with 2 pairs of these things, and I'm not exactly sure what you would call these. They are combinable little things. If you put this red thing into this purple thing, like such, you can have some missile launchers which go on the tank, which is okay. If you put the red thing into this little hole at the bottom of the purple thing, you have some hands, which are kind of silly, but it's something that you could do. And if you put them both on the back of the jet, as it were, making it look even dumber, you can have big, huge thrusters, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's what these things are. I think they're ridiculous. Moving on. And for Blitzwing's next accessory, he comes with this very nice laser rifle. Actually, he comes with a pair of them, and they are good. They are done in a purple plastic, and it's very similar to the laser rifle he had when he first came out as a toy. And he can hold one, or he could double wield, or he could store them on his back, or he could store them in his other modes if you don't want to take a chance of losing them or putting them in a bag somewhere. Alright, moving on. And finally, Blitzwing comes with this huge sword, and it's really nice. It's got some nice silver for the blade, and the blade is nice and curved and a lot of sharp points there, and it comes down to a purple handle. And he could hold this really well, and he could do some chopping, and he could hold it with a gun, or he could put it on his back with a gun, or just put it in his various modes. So it's pretty neat that they make all of his weapons attachable. Alright, moving on. And this has been the Transformers Legacy, or Transformers Legacy Evolution Leader Class Blitzwing. And surprisingly enough, I don't hate this thing. I really thought I might, but for the most part, it being a triple changer, I went into it knowing one of the modes was going to be pretty bad. I didn't think it would be that bad, but for the most part, I think this figure really shines in robot mode. I think this is the best looking Blitzwing that Takara Tomy or Hasbro has given us. Very G1 cartoon accurate. I love that about it. The tank mode is passable. It's pretty good. I like the functionality. It rolls really well. The turret moves. The barrel moves up and down. So I have no problem with the tank mode. It just falls apart when you put it in jet mode. And the jet mode's okay if you just look at it only from the top. If you try to turn it to the side or the bottom, you're going to say, oh my gosh, this thing just landed on a tank and took half of it with it. So, I don't know. It's okay, I guess, for what it is. And it's a triple changer. And it's Blitzwing. And I think having a cool representation of Blitzwing, even just in robot mode or tank mode, is fine with me. I think I will avoid the jet mode. But, I'm glad they tried. I'm glad to get Blitzwing in my collection because he turned out to be one of my favorite characters in his last appearance. But as far as the functionality of the toy, the articulation is good, a little hindered in the elbows because they can't really do much, and it's always been the case with Blitzwing figures. The legs are fine. I love the paint. I love the sculpt and mold. The accessories, I love the gun. The sword is okay. Those little missile launcher hand things, crap. Could be, you should just go ahead and throw those away because, one, they look stupid no matter where they are. Maybe passable in the tank mode as on-side missile launchers, but that is a big maybe. The transformation wasn't that bad. There was a few finicky parts, and the legs on mine don't feel like they tab together all the way. I think some of the tabs are like not long enough, or maybe they're just not reaching, or maybe it could be me not having panels closed all together right. But for the most part, it was pretty fun switching him from mode to mode, and that's pretty much all I got to say about him. So G1 Blitzwing, definitely a pickup for me. If you are looking for this guy, this is the Transformers Legacy version. The one you'll find on the shelves right now is Legacy Evolution, and again, same toy, just different box. And he goes anywhere between $55 to $60 depending on where you pick him up. So if you're looking for him, happy hunting. And that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep playing.
Sometimes it's better to be known for one's enemies.
Articulation.